Dear students, good morning. Today we shall continue with our scheduling algorithm concept. Earlier we have already seen FCFS, then shortest job first. In shortest job first we had two different flavors. One is preemptive and non-preemptive. So also in next type of algorithm, which we call it as an priority based scheduling algorithm, wherein also we have preemptive and non-preemptive. Here in this particular priority based scheduling algorithm, the focus is more on priorities that are assigned to each process. So each process is assigned with certain value of the priority, maybe 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and based on that, execution of the process is taken into the consideration. So here important aspect here is we should look at the value of the priority that is assigned against the each process. So keep in your mind the thumb rule is any number assigned against each priority is a priority value. Now if the value is low, then it is considered as high priority, and if the value is high, it is treated as low priority. For example, in this our case, P3 is assigned with 0 priority, so indicating that this will have the highest value, in the sense highest priority, and against which we talk about the P0, which is having the priority number 5, is having the lowest priority. So it is like what we call in generally in a routine way, the person who is having scored highest numbers, highest marks is having the first position, and the next second, third, fourth, in this way in our academic concept. So coming to this case, so I just recall the things. Low value, high priority, that is here we have a P3 process which is having the 0 as the lowest number, is being given with the highest priority whenever the execution is considered, and similarly next highest will be second value, then fourth, then fifth. So this will be the consideration. But however, at the same time you should also keep in your mind that their respective arrival times are also very important while taking the execution in the account. So now let us now start with the execution of the process P0. Process P0 has arrived at the 0th second. Since it has arrived at 0 second, but its priority is 5. 5 in the sense it is an lowest priority among all these 4 processes. But however, during the 0th arrival, the process P0 has arrived, but no other process are entered into the system, because P1 arrived at first second, P3 arrived at third second, and P3 arrived at the fifth second. By taking the arrival time also into account, we have to take at a particular given point in time which are the processes are entered into the system, and then what are their respective priority. Now here P0 is having the lowest priority as a value 5, but however at a 0th arrival time only P0 has entered into system, so we shall start with the execution of the P0 at the very beginning. So keep that concept into your mind. Now next aspect here is, since it is non-preemptive, we call it as a non-preemptive. Because it is non-preemptive, so we will not preempt the process execution till it is completed. So 0 to 10, because its burst time is 10, so we will finish off with all its arrival with all its burst time 0 to 10. Then at 10th second, you please observe all the processes have already entered into the system. Look at their arrival. P3 is the process which has arrived at the very last at the 5th second. Now the time is 10th second. So all the processes have already entered, remaining processes, that is P1, P2, P3 have already entered into the system. So among these now look at the priorities. As I said, 0 priority in the sense it is an highest priority, so P3 will be executed first. So P3 is given the priority, so its burst time is 4 seconds, so 10 to 4 is 14 seconds, it is executed P3. Now next priority is 2, its corresponding process name is P2, so P2 is executed, its burst time is 2 seconds, so 14 plus 2 is 16. Then next is P1, this is having the 4 priority number, its burst time is 6, so 16 plus 6 is 22. So we are taken 22 for the last execution slot. So then as usual, waiting time is calculated, as we already talked more detail in the previous session of the waiting time. I will not spend much more on the same. So waiting time for the P0 is 0 because it arrived at the 0th second and immediately execution started. So its waiting time is 0. Now P1 is executed at the 16th second. Its arrival time is 1. So 16 minus 1 is 15. And then P2, which has arrived at 3rd second, but it executed started at 14. 14 minus 3 is 11. And then finally and finally P3, which arrived at the 5th second, and its execution was started at the 10. So 10 minus 5 is 5. We will take up the average waiting time, and then as you know, turnaround time is nothing but the waiting time plus burst time. So it is nothing but the 10 plus waiting time plus burst time. So it is 10 plus 0 is 0, so 10 plus 0 is 10, 6 plus 15 is 21, 2 plus 11 is 13, and 4 plus 5 is equals to 9. In the same line, we will be calculating its average turnaround time also. Thank you, friends.